Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame and Cinnamon Sugar. It's real rough up under here. I might show y'all what she looking like in reference to something else I'm gonna tell y'all later on. But let me go ahead and get started because I'm trying not to be before y'all very long. I know y'all be like, girl, get to the point. So the other day, I forgot to tell y'all about something that happened. So as luck would have it, as fate would have it, because we were going to be short a person, one of the supervisors ended up telling us to take our lunch breaks early. So, since my lunch break ended up being at a random time, where I take my lunch break ended up being the place where a couple of people were, and the side heifer was brought up in a conversation. And so the woman was like, well, we on good terms now. She talks to you, doesn't she? Like she don't act funny no more, do she? I was like, girl, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's the same. She was like, really? Even after a year? Because she's been there like a year now. I was like, yes, it's gonna forever stay the same. She still gonna feel the way she feel. Even though I don't want nothing to do with that other woman's man. It ain't even her man. I was just like, girl. So then she was dumbfounded when she found out that she doesn't deal with that guy I told y'all about, because it's just so stupid. It's like, girl, how you gonna get mad at somebody who says to you, no, I'm not gonna do your job for you? Then you leave and inconvenience your own self, and you walk away from free money. You literally didn't have to do nothing the rest of the day. We were over there doing nothing for the rest of the day. Like literally nothing except sitting on the clock. They had to hope that something was gonna pop off. Like nothing happened. They just had us there just in case. Like I was just like, y'all dumb. Then you had to scramble to make your check look the way it needed to look. So you had to volunteer to work. Like it was so dumb. So that happened. Then on Wednesday, I went in early that night. I had already worked that morning on my normal shift. Then I came back that night and was working so that I didn't have to work over the following day. So I'm at work, or was that Tuesday night? I think Tuesday night I came in and worked, and I told y'all the so-called divorce man did what he did. So then Wednesday night was my last night coming in to work recently, right? Let me tell y'all what happened. So I came in and I immediately went to go and retrieve my things that I normally use when I'm out and about doing my stuff, on the floor. So I went to go get my ice, and then I went to go to the schedule because I was like, oh, I have a few minutes. I ain't got to go to the schedule first. Because normally what I do is I clock in, go look at the schedule, take a picture of the schedule, then go retrieve my things, and then go get my ice and do all that. But since I had time, I did it a little different. Child, by the time I made it around there to the schedule, the divorced man was standing up there with two other people talking to them in front of the schedule. And I'm saying to myself, if you don't get on, like, why are you out here again? So this is the second day in a row. You conveniently are out here on a break, I guess. Like, why? So anyway, he had seen the schedule. So like I told y'all before, that's the one thing I hate. The schedule is up there so you can always see where somebody is, if they off, all of that. You can see everybody's business. So he already knew I was gonna be there. He already knew I was gonna work in the same department that he was working in. So I had to work in my current home department for 4 hours, and then I was gonna go to the new department. So then he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, he said, "Hey, how you doing? What you doing?" I said, "Working." And like that's literally how I looked at him. Like, why are you talking to me? Leave me alone. So then he was like, "Oh, well, I'm working in this department. Where you working?" And I'm saying to myself, I'm willing to bet the farm that you know where I'm working. Like, what is the reason that you asking me? Like, you really desperately trying to communicate with me for what? You know I'm not talking to you. But you're not man enough to come to me and be like, oh, well, what's going on? Because you already know what it is. I feel like you already know what it is, and that's why you won't be man enough to come up to me and ask. If he ever is man enough, I'll tell y'all how the conversation went because I'm going to read him for filth. It is what it is. So, um, he asked me, well, are you going to be over there? I was like, unfortunately. And I mean, I meant that because you gonna be over there, and because that department has been running like trash lately, and I ain't here for it. And I'm trying to go to my new home department, because if it's running like trash, I'd rather be back there than up there because it's been getting on my nerve. Like, it's been increasingly getting bad because my department used to be the department everybody would aspire to go work in. They want to be over there. Like, it is what it is. So anyway, I'm saying to myself, man, and I had to walk off. I was just like, why are he trying to talk to me? Leave me alone. So what I wanted to do was, I still had a few minutes. I said, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom back there where the new department at. So I'm on my way, and then in the distance, I see the side heifer standing up where the people are meeting that are working in the new department, because they are the only group of people who actually have meetings at that time, because that's literally when their work day starts. So I'm like, I could have sworn the schedule said she had to be in her department. Why is she over there? Whatever. I don't really care. Do what you do. But of course, she's going to turn around and look at my face, trying to figure out why I'm walking back there. Don't worry about why I'm walking back here. Why are you standing over there? Worry about yourself. How about that? So I went to the bathroom, and by the time I came out and went upstairs, I still had a couple of minutes left. So I got up there, got situated. While I'm putting my radio and stuff on, she up there now. And so she looking at my face, because I feel somebody looking at me. And of course, it's her. Ain't got no life. Always got to look up in my face. I don't understand. So anyway, child, everything's going well. She feels some type of way because the woman I'm working with, who again actually ended up being the woman who asked me the day prior about whether or not we are on all right terms now, because she's on good terms with her. And once she said, oh, we good now, I was like, oh, that's only because she ain't got no other people. She done ran out of friends. And the other person chimed in that was in there. She was like, yeah, everybody else got fired and let go and all this other stuff. So she really ain't got but one other person. And she don't work every day. She works the weekends. When did she show up? So it's like, girl, she ain't got no allies. Then her cousin ain't been here for the last 2 weeks. So she ain't got no allies. It's like, that's the only reason. And I'm going to know you over here in your feelings and ain't got nobody to talk to. If you ever try to roll up on me and start trying to talk to me, like, girl, why are you talking to me? Anytime she even say, if she ever says anything to me, it's always because she trying to take resources because I got to them before her. She always feels entitled. That's why I don't like when we have to deal with any resources that are the same that she needs in her department as well. It just irks my soul. She just always feel like she entitled. Even that day when I had to work with that woman, the woman was like, let me make sure, because I don't want no mess. I was like, yeah, I know how it go. But I'm going to get to that part too. So anyway, before I get to that part, let me tell y'all what happened. I'm going to try to tell y'all in order because it was just too much and I was sick and tired. So as soon as I got up there, stuff was popping off. And I'm like, what I'm not finna do is fight nothing. I'm not fighting nothing. I done told these people before, if something pop off, I'm not fighting it. I'm calling maintenance because that's the way it's supposed to go anyway. And you shouldn't have to fight nothing as it is. So call maintenance. Maintenance didn't say nothing. I always wait 5 to 10 more minutes and then I call them again. And in meantime, in between time, I always let the people downstairs know what the situation is. So I had already said to myself, I said, watch this. He gonna end up running the same exact stuff that I'm running. Watch he be the person that's over the stuff that I'm running. Watch. I be doggone. The first call go through. I tell him the situation. I'm done. He gonna get back over the radio. Which one did you say? I was like, oh my gosh, of course it's him. So now, ever since the other day when I realized that it was him, now I know his voice when I hear it on the radio. So I'm like, here we go. This finna be some foolishness. All in an effort for you to talk to me because you know I don't want to talk to you. So then that particular part of the department kept having issues all night to the point where I kept calling maintenance. Maintenance was so busy that they told me that I had to call the lower level people. Now, I don't remember if I told y'all this the other day or not, but something popped off where I had already called maintenance. They didn't come. Waiting on them. And so the supervisor going to get on the radio because he was on the channel that I have to be on at all times when I'm not on the channel that maintenance is on. When I have to switch back over and I let the people downstairs know what's going on, You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So he gonna come back over the radio after I done updated them again, letting them know I called maintenance again to ask me did I call the lower level people. I told him no, I did not call them. So I straight up told him no, I didn't call them because every time I call them, they always end up having to call maintenance. I try to give them a chance. Like every single time I try to give them a chance, I'm like, oh, well, let me call them. They literally say, I can't fix it. I'm going to call maintenance. What's the reason? I said literally over the radio, I'm like, well, since he want to do this, we going to do it. So he was like, well, I figured I just cut out the middleman, just go ahead and call maintenance because every time I call them, they can't fix it. So he was like, well, I think we need to include the middleman and, try to see, what they can do and at least try to see if they can fix it. And then if they can't, then we go to the next step. I said, all right, 10-4. Like, I'm not finna argue with you. We can continue wasting time. It's going to still end up being the same result. I know what I'm talking about. So I knew what I was talking about that day. Like I always know. Like, I don't think I know everything, but when it comes to that, I know. Them people came up there with the quickness, right? 2 of them couldn't get it to work. Could not fix it. By the time maintenance got up there, within 5 minutes of maintenance getting up there, the lower level people were walking away as my supervisor had came up the steps trying to see what was going on and if anybody was working on anything and all this other stuff and to see if he could help. Like, I'm trying to tell you, this was something that I can't fix. I'm not going to call them for no reason. So anyway, forget all that. Like, you done wasted your time and we still ended up where we were going to end up anyway, which is where maintenance was going to work on it. But go off though. So, child, back to last night. So, old boy, I had to keep calling him to let him know there was literally only one thing that was not operational that he was running. Everything else was running just fine. Tell me why at one point in time he gonna get over the radio and was like, which one you want me to turn on? Because maintenance, the lower level maintenance dude kept coming up there because maintenance was swamped. Like, they could not come up there at all. Because it was so much stuff popping off. Where they were, they had to continuously work on wherever they was at working on stuff. And so I called them and because I got tired of, because I was just like, man, this man literally just walked off and the issue popped right back up again. Like, I need y'all to come up here and fix it. So once he told me, well, we have a lot going on and I don't know when we're going to be able to get up there. You're going to have to call them. And I was like, well, he just walked away. Well, that's why. Like, do I still need to call them or should I be able to wait on you? You want me to call him again or what? He was like, yeah, I don't know when I'm be able to get up there. I said, okay, called him back. So it just got to a point where that man told me whenever it set it off, if it decided to set it off again, just call me back up here because we're going to have to get it fixed. Like, this is something that shouldn't be happening and I'm not going to fight it. So there's that. Like, no, I ain't come in here. I didn't sign up for this. So y'all, this fool gonna get over the radio and he gonna say, well, which one you want us to turn on? I'm saying to myself, ain't nothing but one off. Ain't nothing but one thing off that you keep turning off. Why do I gotta keep telling you which one to turn on? You doing all this to talk to me. It ain't adding up. Nothing else is off. Like, child, it was so bad that once I told him, like, I would call the people again, because like I told you, this was a continuous problem. Them whole 4 hours I was up there just to work in that department. That man just got to the point, he was like, just call me as soon as it come off. Like, don't even fight it. Don't try it. Just call me and I'll come right back up here. I said, okay. So every time that happened, like you're supposed to do, I communicated with them to let them know what the situation was. So every time, well, which one did you say it was? It was so bad that one of the people that was downstairs working with him doing the same job he does got on the radio before me and repeated what I said, because it's like, why I gotta keep repeating myself? I know I speak clear. I know I'm speaking clearly. Why are you acting like you can't hear me? And this was all in the effort for him to talk to me. This was all in the effort for him to talk to me because you know I'm not talking to you. So why? Leave me alone. So anyway, y'all, when I tell y'all I couldn't get from up there fast enough. But before that happened, so the person who brings the resources to us on that particular shift, before he got up there, almost immediately when I got up there, I'm trying to get myself situated and I get into a groove. So I'm in the middle of getting into my groove, and the person that I'm working with, she came up to me and she was like, "Oh well, I ordered this, and he hasn't brought it yet." Da da da. I said, "Well, who was the person?" Like I needed to know. I just wanted to make sure it was him before I said what I was gonna say. So she confirmed that it was the person who I thought it was, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get on that right now, cause he gonna send it up here. He gonna send the stuff. Like the shift is halfway over with. She need to be getting her stuff." And so she was like, "Well, I told him to bring the stuff later, but it's a little bit after now." Da da da. I said, "Okay. So tell me why." Maybe 15, 20 minutes later, he appears. I ain't say nothing to him, by the way. I hadn't said nothing. He saw that I was up there, and he just walked straight up to me. Keep in mind, the side heifer is across the way, peeping everything that's going on. Of course, because she's mod, that she got to go hunt people down for them to associate with them in any capacity. Like, don't nobody want to talk to you, heifer. So anyway, he rolled up. So I see him coming. I'm in the middle of doing what I'm doing. Before this man can even get to me, y'all, I to set it off. So I said, "Where?" And I asked him where was something at or whatever. So then he rolled up. He got all the way up on me. He was like, "Wait a minute. What's going on here? What you talking about?" I was like, "I was informed that there were certain resources that have not been, brought up here to her." And so he gonna try to show me the paper. And he was like, "She said she wanted them after this time." I was like, "I already know all that. But you should have been informed that I was in the building. I know that you should have been made aware that I was in the building. So within 10 minutes of me being here, all that stuff should have been slung up here for me to get." So he is taken aback. He was like, "Okay, so you want to fight?" I said, "Sure." I done took my glasses off and everything. I was like, "If you want to do it, we can do it." So I said, first of all, because it was hot. It was really hot up there. I don't know what is going on. Last night was cold. So I'm like, why is it so hot in here? Y'all, I ain't even had them glasses on. These are the glasses I had on last night. So I said, "We can fight if you want to. We can do it if you want to do it." Because I got a lot of anger and frustration I need to get out anyway. So he's taken aback and he's like dying laughing. Like he's doubled over. Like for real laughing down. And I done kept my serious face on. And I was like, you know what? First of all, let me hydrate myself. Because I had been doing so much. I hadn't even been sipping while I was walking around doing the stuff I do. Normally, I'm sipping and drinking and doing the most all before I go to my first break. Like, normally, I'm very hydrated and all that. I don't know. Sometimes I just get in my own head and I start doing stuff, and then I forget I'm supposed to be drinking water. I was like, first of all, give me about 5 minutes so I can hydrate, because we going to fight. So then I was like, and let me remove these because my glasses be costing too much. They cost too much. I ain't got time for them to possibly get broken while we in the middle of this brawl. So I kept the glasses off, and I'm over there like turning my bottle up. This man is dying. He was like, "I'm not gonna mess with you no more." I was like, "I'm just saying, you the one who came at me sideways. You can't say I'm crazy and all of this after you came at me sideways. Help me understand." So he is done with me. He was like, "Oh, you crazy." I'm like, I mean, if that's what you want to say, but you the one who came to me talking about you want to fight. Let's do it. I'm ready. So he was like, "I'm going to leave and go get the stuff that you asked for." I was like, "Yeah, you do that." And so like, I'm loud the entire time. The side heifer can't hear what I'm saying, but I'm being loud and dramatic on purpose because, I got to give this dramatic effect. It is what it is. Like, people like the things that I do. And then it was natural. Like, everything just rolled off my tongue. I didn't have to sit there and think about it, to have no reaction to nothing. That's why he was so thrown off. Like, that's just how great it is that happens. It's funny. But anyway, y'all excuse me. My throat is dry. Oh my gosh. So that was funny. Because I had already told a woman, I said, "Oh, you ain't got to worry about it. You're going to get all the stuff you asked for and then some." Because for some reason, when I come up in here, they be like, "Oh, well, we don't normally get all of our resources." What you mean? And then it's like, one day he randomly came up, that was walking through. He had never seen me before. And this is when they drafted me and I was assigned. It was mandatory for me to have to come in early. So I was up there. And so he walked up to me, and at the time he was being professional before he knew who I was. And, we had this friendly banter back and forth or whatever. And he was like, "Well, do you need anything?" I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I told him what I needed. And like, they were shocked. They was like, "Well, we normally don't get all of our stuff." Oh, whenever he see me, all of a sudden the stuff get up there. And that's why I was confident in telling her, oh, you ain't got to worry about it. You're going to get everything you asked for. Now, keep in mind, he's married and he's messing with somebody that I know up in there. He don't know that I know them. And we going to keep it that way. I be knowing things. People be telling me stuff because they know I'm not gonna run around and go tell the whole building what they got going on. That's why people don't mind telling me their secrets. So anyway, I just be like, you know, it is what it is. I already done blessed her out. She already know what it is. She knows she wrong. They haven't done nothing since, but she liked the experience and the opportunity hasn't presented itself again. But yeah, I done already told her about herself, so it is what it is. So anyway, I know about the scandalous things that have been going on. I know about the scandalous things that have been said. I've seen the actual text messages and all of that. So anyway, so the other day, coincidentally, she pretty much asked me, had he hit on me or tried to roll up and all that? I was like, no, actually he hasn't. Like whenever he does come up there and talk to me, it's been about work. Most recently, he said that jail is not a place that you want to go to because he had a past and he's gone before and it wasn't a pleasant experience. And I just told him that, you know, sometimes certain people in here made me want to set it off and politely, you know, call the police on myself and sit there and wait to be walked out of the building because they do things that make me want to stomp them out. They do things that make me want to sling them down the stairs. And I mean, that's not me. So I just pray and I try to keep my composure and ignore them to the best of my ability. Because when I tell you, the side heifer is one of them people that will try you on a level that, like, the most peaceful person, they will be on the news booked and people will be like, what is going on? They have always been so nice and so quiet. They've never got into any trouble ever in life. Why are they in jail? Why are they in prison? Because of people like the side heifer. When I tell you the evilness that's on her, I cannot. So anyway, and then he rolled up there again later on that night. And I said, okay, so what's going on? Because he hadn't put the stuff up there. So I told the woman, I said, oh, he'll probably be through the stuff up there by the time before I go to break. I had like 15 more minutes before I was gonna go to my first break. And so she was like, okay. So he hadn't thrown it up there. So by the time he came back again, I went off on him and I was like, no. So where the stuff at though? Like you came up here like you was gonna bring the stuff. Like I went off immediately and I was really, really loud about it. And then I asked him what was the other stuff. He asked me what I needed. I said, well, I need this. I need specifically this. I don't know what she ordered or what she got left, but I need it. Like he started bringing extra stuff that he wasn't supposed to bring for me because I'm me. I'm just saying, it's so funny. People be killing me. So in typical side heifer fashion, he walked off because he about to quickly go retrieve the things that I've asked for. So she calling him like way across the room. Like she kills me with that. She'll see somebody talking to me and then she will either interrupt the conversation by yelling, or when they walk off, she immediately be like, oh, I need to talk to them. And then it's like, girl, shut up. Like, y'all don't understand how annoying she is. So anyway, that was funny. I got everything I wanted though. That was funny. I still haven't gotten a chance to tell this other person about it because she be asking me since she started asking questions. But I've been trying to reassure her because she was just like, I'm surprised he hadn't tried to come on to you. I was like, no, he ain't tried me. Like, he really hasn't. Like, to be honest, I'm not even trying to downplay it because she kind of like him and all that or whatever. Like, I don't know what he got going on, but I'm like, girl, you know that's a dangerous situation. And she already know. Like I said, I already read her. But I was like, no. Like, he hasn't tried me. He hasn't. Like, he really hasn't. Like, most of the time, I can tell when people doing the most. And I'm about to get there because the most has been done. So, let me go ahead and cross my arms. So I get ready. Wait a minute. Okay, y'all. So like I told y'all, I went in early last night. So the married man was trying to talk to me. And I'm saying to myself, man, get on. Soon as he turned the corner, somebody at the corner of my eye, I looked at the schedule again. I came and looked at the schedule again. So, because I still had a few minutes. So I'm looking at the schedule. Tell me why this other person, I told y'all about him before. He lived for natural hair. He slowed down. I just so happened to look up. So he slowed down, then came to a complete stop and proceeded to say, "Man, if I wasn't at work." Said it loud as I don't know what. I was like, if you don't get somewhere, because I already knew what he was saying. He really does live for natural hair. I thought he was joking at first. But one time he finally like saw my hair, because anytime he would see my hair done, like he never really saw my hair. He always saw it in braids or something like that. Or like normally when he see me, I'm coming in and I got a hood on. I'm leaving out and I got my hood on. So he don't see my hair. So one day I was in a rush because I was like, man, I'm trying to hurry up, get up out of here, whatever, whatever. My hood wasn't on yet. So I'm going to the clock. He'd have set it off. So the first time he saw my hair, I had finger coils done went off. He was like, okay, then I see your hair. I see you with the natural. I see your hair. I was like, yeah. So I thought he was trying to be funny. Like he really do live for natural hair. Like it's sexy to him. So I was like, okay, keep in mind he's a bald black man. So I was like, okay. So like we really like slow walked out the door that day. He was talking about how nice my hair looked and that he thinks that I would look nice with locks, and I was like, I mean, I've contemplated getting locks. I've contemplated locking up. Like y'all don't understand. Every other week or every week, I'm always like, ooh, I want to lock my hair. But if I lock it, how I want to go, because I like so many different ways that hair can be locked. Y'all, it don't make no sense. I'm too indecisive to lock my hair because I might lock it and I have micro locks or sister locks, and then I really wanted traditional locks, or I might have wanted it twisted up. Ain't no telling. It's just too many different options for me. Like the thickness, like it's just too much. I don't know. So, I don't know. I gotta think about it. If it ever happened, I gotta settle on what type of way, how I want it to be locked. Because no, it's just too much. So anyway, child, this man that came to a complete stop and went off. Done went all the way off. Man, if I was outside of work. Man, if I wasn't at work. And I already knew what he was talking about. Because he been making little subtle hints that he lived for me. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to ignore you. Because he went off one day. One day I was playing some 3-6 Mafia when I came into work. Sometimes I played it to hype myself up. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I like certain things like that. And it kind of gets me hype or whatever. It's somewhat of theme music. So he rolled up. He didn't say good morning. He was like, oh, I heard what you was playing this morning. I didn't know you got down like that. I didn't know you listened to music like that. I was like, yeah, listen to all types of music. Set it off because of that. Set it off because I was talking about Alkaline. Didn't know that I knew about any of that stuff. Whatever. Like every time we talk, like he be having to break away because he really supposed to be going back from break or going to break because the conversation got too good to him. So then he was like, man, we're going to have to link up one day outside of work. I was saying to myself, no, we're not. It can't happen because I know you're going to want to screw because you're a guy. Even if you don't have the slightest interest in me, you want to see what this mouth do. You want to see what this box do. You've heard all types of stereotypes, whatever. I already know what it's in for. I already know what I give. I am the version of a modern day Sarah Bartman. I already know what it's hidden for. I already know. Don't nobody like me. People like this box. People like this mouth. I already know. I'm not dumb. So anyway, fast forward to the end of the day. The end of the day today, I'm minding my business. Just so happened to be heading to my last break. Y'all, the last hour of the day, I ain't do nothing. And I wasn't going to do nothing because we were no longer operational back then in the new department. I was so happy. I had done everything I needed to do and I left. I was not coming back. They ain't know I wasn't coming back, but I wasn't coming back. I wasn't needed. It was what it was. So I went to my break. He coming back from his break. So he, like, this is me walking this way. He got to go this way to go where he going because I'm coming from the new department. So then he see me and then he back up because he's smiling. Keep in mind, y'all, this man is dark skinned, tall and bald. You can see him from a mile away. So he had walked by and I saw him. And so I was gonna speak or whatever, and then he like backed up. I said, "Oh God, here we go." No, no, because he had just went off that morning. I had just said, I had just made a post about what he said that morning, like right after he did it, because I couldn't believe he was so loud, like everybody heard him. I was like, "You done went what in front of these people?" That boy just went round the corner. The divorce man just went round the corner. I don't know if he realized, because if he had been standing there, his feelings would have been hurt. Oh, I can't wait till some more stuff happen in front of his face so he can really get in his feelings. I don't know. And then I heard that somebody told me that they saw him talking to him the other day. And I was like, oh, he just don't know that man live for me. That's the funny part. Like that man really be living for me. I don't know why. I know part of why, but whatever. I'm getting to some of that right now. Some things that I thought, but now I definitely have confirmation on. He done went off. So we talking, right? I'm going to my break and he's supposed to be heading back to his apartment. So we talking. And so he was like, well, you had me intrigued by something we was talking about the other day. And I was like, okay. So for some reason we started talking about something about sex. And then I just was like, oh, and I wanted to ask him. I was like, I'm glad you asked me that, because I'm the type of person that I don't believe that sex is a taboo subject. I believe that sex is a natural conversation to have, or whatever, and you shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about it. Whatever. A lot of people view it as a super taboo subject, and I'm like, why? Sex conversation is very interesting to me. So whatever. Anyway, so we talking, and I was like, hey, I just want to know. So I'm looking around, make sure ain't nobody rolling up, because people love to be in my business. People love, I don't get it. People love to be in my conversation. Like, I really will be talking to somebody and they'll be standing over there and they just be like start laughing, or they'll just come out of nowhere and want to interject. I'll be like, ain't nobody talking to you. Like, I don't know. They be doing a lot. So I just wanted to make sure wasn't nobody around because they be doing too much. And so I asked him, has he ever had missionary with a woman and she had her foot on a wall or on a headboard? Because, and I'm asking this because this particular position is completely different from just regular missionary to me. The feeling is completely different. The way I act is completely different when that's going on. And I've had somebody to say to me, why you like that? Like, why every time we get together, you want to do that a couple of times? Like, y'all don't I ain't never really cared about missionary until it was happening with that person. And for some reason, I put my foot on the headboard. Child, I don't know why I did that, but yes, the numerous orgasms that were happening. I don't know what was going on, but a lot was happening. But anyway, sorry, I ain't mean to go there like that, but it just is what it is. My bad. So I'm explaining to him. He was like, well, no, I don't know about all that because I got basically said he has a long penis, and then just continue talking like he just said he had a long penis. I'm saying to myself, I didn't ask for any of that, but okay, why I didn't know that? Why are you telling me this? Like, so anyway, we talking. And so, like, he just kept asking me random stuff. He just becoming more and more intrigued. And he was like, you know what? I gotta stop talking to you because talking about it gets me excited. And basically, like, he don't want to talk about it because he gonna want to do something. And I'm like, I understand that because that's how I am too, depending on, who it is or whatever. So he was like, man, come, I gotta get back. Find me on Facebook. You got Facebook? I ain't friend. I was like, well, you can't find me, because he was gonna try to find me and add me. I was like, well, you ain't gonna be able to find me or whatever. And so he was like, well, I ain't friends with nobody in here. Told me what his last name was, whatever. I already knew what it was, but because I'm me. But anyway, so I was like, all right. So since I was thinking about it when I went on break, I was like, this is gonna be some foolishness. Let's go ahead and set this foolishness up. So I added him as a friend on Facebook, and then when we got off work, he had accepted the friend request. So then I had gotten home about an hour after we both got home. He gonna ask me, was I still up? And so I was like, yep. So I already knew the sex conversation was gonna continue. So he asking me all kinds of random stuff. Cause I told him, I was like, I don't care about talk. I was like, you just don't know what we be talking about upstairs. Like, you do not understand. Cause at first, when we were still at work, he was like, I'm trying to be PG. I was like, why? You ain't gotta be PG. Like, we definitely don't be talking about nothing PG upstairs. I was like, and I was trying to look up there, cause like where we were standing, you could literally look upstairs, and I saw somebody, and I was trying to see if it was my buddy who I hadn't seen all day, and it was him. I was like, yeah, like that dude right there, man. We be talking about all kinds of stuff. You don't understand. So, and he gets very interested when I say something about being on a certain type of time. I was like, people don't understand me. People do not understand. I be on a different type of time. He was like, I don't know. I don't know about all that, child. So, to make a long story short, he done reached out to me on Facebook asking me what I like, what turns me on. Then he was like, can I be honest with you? I said, well, yeah, I would love that because most people love to lie for no reason. So, yeah, go ahead. So, he gonna tell me ever since I first started working there, he been watching me. He's been attracted to me. He's wanted to sexually please me in all of this. He claims that he's a pleaser. He gonna ask me if he can please me. I said, I'm good. I'm only here to shoot the breeze from time to time. Like, I'm just the person that's here until y'all find who y'all supposed to be with. Like, I ain't got nothing to come and offer nobody. I'm good where I'm at. And I had been told him, like, I ain't been doing nothing. Like, I think within that conversation before we left work, I had already told him that I've been being good. And he was like, no, the way you be talking ain't no way. I was like, no, actually, I took off. And the week of my birthday, I could have been bad, but I actually did good. I'm actually proud of myself. I was like, I'm definitely on that type of time. I don't feel as though I have reached my sexual peak, and I be doing the most, even when I'm at my worst. So, yeah, I'm just trying to tell you what it is. So we talking, and he just keep on asking me these questions. I'm like, sir, I don't know what to tell you. He tells me what he all into. And I briefly explained to him that my ex told me that some of the things that I do would classify me as a dom. And I'm like, huh? I remember when he first said that years ago. I was like, what? And so he was like, yeah. And like, it's certain positions that he would want me to be in or I would get in. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so that made him very excited. Now, that was when the conversation first started at work. So he was like, oh, I'm into that. Oh, I love being a submissive person. He was like, oh, I love being a sub. Oh, I would love this. Like, he started smiling at everything. He really got excited. I was like I was dying laughing at him because I don't know, I wasn't expecting him to react like that. He was killing me. I was like, what is wrong with him? And so he was like, man, you don't understand. He was like, I'm nasty. I'm just nasty. So then, like I said, he's supposed to been back where he was at. I'm on break. I ain't going back. Like, I can talk all the rest of the day. You can't. I'm waiting on you to walk away. So we talking, and he was just like, well, I get real nasty. Like, are there some things that you just not into? Like, what? I was like, sir, I ain't got to tell you. Listen, it is what it is. So he was just like, well, I get real nasty. I'm like, well, I ain't nasty. I'm boring. I love to tell people I'm boring and that I ain't got nothing to offer. So don't nobody get their hopes up. Don't nobody have no kind of moments where they gonna have a dream or daydream about me. Leave me out the equation. I ain't got nothing to offer nobody. I made sure to tell him throughout the conversation we were having online, I have nothing to offer. I bring nothing to the table. I am trash in the bedroom. And so he was like, I feel like you're just being modest, whatever. I find when people are being modest like that they end up showing out. And so I did tell him that, for me, I'm a pleaser as well. Basically, I was explaining that I'm a pleaser. And I mean, it's true. When I'm with somebody, my focus is making sure that they get theirs. Way before I got on the type of time that I'm on now, where I actually started really enjoying myself sexually, I was all about, hey, forget if I get mine. I need to make sure you got yours. And I'm shooting for being the best that you've ever experienced. I call it my name experience, right? I'm weird. I just came up with that this year. I don't know why. It's so weird. And people be getting their life. And I be like, leave me alone. I don't know. I think it's because when we've been having the conversations upstairs, I've been saying stuff. And so I was like, I'm gonna have to come up with a name for this. They be getting their entire life. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. It just is what it is, honey. So he over here, he keep on saying little stuff like, I'm trying to see what that be like. He talking about some, look, I just want to please you and all this other stuff. And I looked at my phone just like this. And I straight up talk, like, I done got to the point where I'm not finna pussyfoot around. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. Nothing is gonna be left up to interpretation. I'm gonna say what need to be said. And he didn't even think I was being clear at one point in time. I was like, you know exactly what I mean. He was like, well, say what you mean. He's one of those. Like, he really wants you to if you're gonna be about something, he wants you to stand on it. He wants you to say it. He don't want you to lollygag and all that. Like, if a situation is what it is, just say what it is. Like, be direct. That's what he wants you to do. And I'm fine with that too. I get it. But I was just looking at him like, sir, you want too much and I ain't got nothing for you. I just keep telling people I have nothing to offer. I'm here as somebody who people come to and they vent and they talk to in the meantime, in between time, until the person that they are supposed to be with comes along. That's it. He keep on talking about pleasing me. He talking about he want to watch me. And tell me why he gonna say to me, hey, I have a question. So if we at work and ain't nobody around, can I grab your butt? Why? So then he was like, oh, and you could grab mine too. And so the only thing I said in response to that was that I was shocked that he said that because most men are not here for that. I used to love to like grab my ex's butt, right? He couldn't stand that. Nobody likes that. I want to slap y'all butt too. I want to grab y'all's booty too. I don't understand. Y'all want to about knock my butt off of my whole body, but I can't touch yours? What is going on? He said he here for that. I was like, oh. I'm good where I'm at. I'm just like, sir. And then it's like, I know I'm on some type of time or whatever. I know I'm on a different type of time, but the way he talking, I don't know. But people talk like that all the time and they be trash. And I mean, I straight up told him, like, people can't handle me. People talk all that trash and can't handle me. And I'm just like, child, I'm over it. I told him I will get a toy and call it a day. I'm good where I'm at. So then he gonna ask me, have I used a toy while sex was happening? And I was like, well, for me, I prefer not to do that if I have the real thing in front of me. So he thought that I didn't understand. I was like, I understood you the first time. My answer still remains the same. I don't want that when I already got the real things in front of me. Like, to me, that defeats the purpose. Now, other people, y'all can do what y'all want to do. I just want what's real and right there. To me, the toys are there to serve as a substitute for when you ain't there. Now, I'm not against possibly trying at some point. More than likely, anything that's not penetration wise, because I'm not here for it. Somebody did that to me one time and I was not here for it. Like, he was so random. And I think it was because that was just a complete and utter turnoff for me. And I was just like, why would you do that? It was beyond random. I ain't here for that. Don't do that. Ain't nobody, we didn't have no conversation. You done did the most. You already ain't doing what you think you doing. And I was disgusted. He was getting his entire life. Like, no, leave me alone. Thank you in advance. But yeah, this dude, he be doing a lot. And I just be looking at him like, sir, I already knew what type of time you was on before you ever spoke to me. And he was like, before I ever even got to know you, I knew your energy was great. I knew the sexual energy was there. I was like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, y'all, let me go somewhere and sit down. I'll see y'all later.